Thanks to EA Creator Network for allowing me to play Season 11 early. It's time to compare the car SMG with the R-99, Prowler, and Vault. We all know it's exciting to jump on the next shiny new weapon, but does it make sense to pick up the car when Season 11 launches? Is the hybrid ammo function overcompensating for something, or is the car going to launch out the gate as the strongest SMG on the block? Well, I'll just say now, before we get into things, the car definitely isn't going to sit on the ground much, but it may not be your specific SMG of choice. Before I talk specifically about the car stats, let's recap the current meta. Right now we have a pretty strong SMG meta. You can pick the R-99 and go for a weapon with the highest DPS, highest recoil, but largest chance to one-clip somebody the fastest. Or you can opt for a more reliable, easier to control weapon with the Vault with less DPS and time to kill. And then you have the good old bursty Prowler, which has a far larger damage per magazine, but you're trading quick, fast, full auto fire for more likely than not more sustained bursts as you use movement in between bursts. All three are decent, honestly, but the pure stats say that the R-99 comes out on top for time to kill, shots to kill, and DPS for 150 HP upwards. Any lower than that and the Vault and Prowler do very well because their higher damage per shot sort of ticks them up in the time to kill spot. Early game, a Vault and Prowler will do you great, but late game a good beam on an R-99 will always win in a fight if you don't miss your shots. So R-99 wins if you can hit your beams, and if not, then the Prowler and Vault will do just fine. So what about the car? Well, let's talk about the base stats real quick. It has a 20 round magazine and jumps up to 22, 24, and 27 with each magazine upgrade, so it's identical to the R-99 in that front. Hipfire, spread, reload, and kind of handling is very similar to the other SMGs. It really isn't that different. The difference is in the damage, fire rate, and recoil profile. The car actually does more damage at 13 damage per shot. Of course, it does have a slower fire rate than the R-99 as well, but the fire rate is just high enough that it peaks at 201 DPS. That is unbelievably higher than the R-99. It's not a huge jump, but with a higher DPS and a higher damage per shot, we can be assured the car SMG will have a better time to kill than the R-99 at all body armor levels, and this also means the car will have a better time to kill compared to the Vault and Prowler too. Maybe on like 100 HP targets or 80 HP targets, the higher damage weapons may come out on top, but it's rare that you'll see that case. If the car SMG has a better DPS for beating high level armor and a better time to kill at all armor levels than all other SMGs, and it has a useful feature that lets you use both ammo and magazines for heavy or light, how could you possibly pick up another SMG? Well, there is one big caveat, and it's the kind of thing that's going to stop a lot of people picking up the car, and they'll be going back to what they're comfortable with soon enough. Unfortunately, the car has a mighty recoil. I didn't manage to master it in my practice because it's pretty wild for such a fast fire rate weapon. It goes up for about the first 5 shots, then sort of shoots out left for one bullet, then goes in a diagonal right for the next 5 shots, before sort of becoming a swirly mess. This is absolutely the hardest recoil pattern on an SMG yet, and honestly the good old just pull down technique just doesn't quite work in the car's case. On top of this, the fire rate is high enough that the whole jitter aim or oscillation technique will not work. If you hold down fire without practicing the recoil first, you are going to miss shots. So that means you can either use it in bursts, but then the Prowler is going to be better anyway, or just use it very close range where that left-right variance isn't going to matter so much. Of course, there's another method too, and that's the method of just practicing and learning the recoil. It will take time, but for those that have the patience, or for pretty much every high-level player out there, the car will overtake the R-99 and Vault as the top-tier SMG. If your mechanical skill is good enough to master the car recoil, it will be your favorite weapon. But don't take too long to master it. I feel a nerf could be around the corner. I actually hope they don't nerf it though. The car is the first SMG that really does take some practice to beam somebody with. There we have it. The car SMG is absolutely the new superior SMG, but if you find you just cannot deal with the recoil, the R-99 DPS and time to kill won't be a massive step down, and then there's quite a bigger step down towards the Vault and Prowler if you want to trade DPS or faster time to kill on higher level Evo armor for better control and less chance you miss enough shots that you need to reload your mag before knocking a player. So that's pretty much it. What do you think? I'll leave it to you in the comments. Cheerio!